Cole versus Black, and Sullivan versus Dane. Those aren't bad things. I think that's not a bad start, and that doesn't even include a women's title match or a tag title match, which should both be good matches as well.
And any word on what Roderick Strong's going to be doing?
Not that I've seen. I think I forget what next week's show is, if it's a year-end review thing or not, but they're taping shows from, I want to say, Atlanta in the first week in January. So maybe there we'll find out some more if he's going to be on the card or not. I'm guessing maybe it'll be Fish and O'Reilly versus the Authors of Pain. Predict, but I'm not. That's just me speculating.
Or unless they do Fish and O'Reilly versus Authors of Pain versus Sanity, which is another option.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could do that. They could do a triple threat if they wanted to put them in there. Yeah.
So, I mean, either way, like you said, the show is definitely stacking up. I mean, it's got great talent on there. I'm really enjoying NXT of Honor in 2018.
Sure. Yeah, I think we're all looking forward to it.
Yeah, for sure. There was a lot of stuff that happened in the 37 hours of WWE TV this week. I don't want to go too deep into everything. So I guess I'm going to touch on just a quick couple of things. Who thought Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins were a good idea?
My understanding of that is, I guess they changed plans for Jordan based off of the Ambrose injury. That's the only thing I've read to this point. So I don't know. I guess the other option I read, again, I don't know how true any of that is, was Finn Balor was an option for that spot to team with Rollins, but they ended up going with Jason Jordan. I guess they seem to like Jason. Obviously, they seem to like Jason Jordan a lot, so that's why they went with him. That's the only thing that I know.
Do we know who made that decision so I can call them?
I can only assume the answer is Vincent K. McMahon.
Yeah, I would definitely much rather see Jason Jordan than Finn Balor because he's doing so much besides squashing Kurt Hawkins every week. Brutal. I don't know. What else happened on Raw? Anything you want to talk about?
No, I didn't really. I mean, for the Raw and SmackDown aspect of things, it just seemed like more of the same. SmackDown, they're just continuing to build the Shane and Dan O'Brien storyline, which I don't want to. I guess is going to result in one of them turning heel. Shane seems like the more likely person that would do the turn. I don't know what the end game for it is, if it's going to be Shane McMahon versus somebody of Daniel Bryan's choosing at WrestleMania, since they don't seem to be letting Daniel Bryan be cleared to wrestle. But other than that, they just keep doing things to further that storyline. It ended up Kevin Owens pinned AJ Styles right in the main event as a result of a distraction that was inadvertent or whatever.
Yeah, I like that storyline, and I'm intrigued. That's one of the most intriguing thing to me on WWE TV this week. I really like heel Sami Zayn. He's kind of annoying, and I like him. I like him. I like the Owens dynamic, and who knows, it might be a time for a Daniel Bryan heel turn. I don't know if they would do that with Daniel Bryan because they love him so much. And with all the stuff he does outside the TV show, like the Connor's Cure, that kind of stuff. So I don't know if it's like a John Cena thing where they're hesitant to pull the trigger on that now. But I think him turning heel would still be very over with the crowd. So either way, I think that there's money in both sides.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I think turning Daniel Bryan isn't probably the best move, but it is an interesting storyline. I was interested in it at the pay-per-view Clash of the Champions, but the match was kind of crappy.
Yeah.
Yes, but I think the storyline itself is intriguing. So, but other than that, I don't know there's too much else this week. The holiday, they had the show over the holidays, so they kind of just had some basic stuff. But I know you wanted to talk about Wrestle Kingdom, which is happening in a few days.
It's going to be happening January 4th at 2 a.m. American time, Eastern Standard Time. So I will be watching that. I have the 9-match card up, and I would like to congratulate New Japan on deciding to cut it down and just do 9 matches. I think it's better than the 17-hour spectacle that it has been in years past, and I think it's going to be a lot easier to follow. That being said, we'll run through the card, which gives some predictions. I know you haven't been following too closely, so feel free to tell me to piss off or buzz off, as they say, on any of these matches. The first match is Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo, formerly the Tempora Boys, champions, versus the Young Bucks for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. Roppongi 3K, they're a newer team. I don't know that they would take the titles off of them this early. They haven't had them that long, so as much as I don't want to see the Young Bucks lose, I think they're probably going to keep them on Roppongi.
So, yeah, I think that would be my thoughts. I was looking at the matches actually just before we got on the air so that I could make sure I was up to speed.
That's doing due diligence, buddy.
Just doing the best we can. I agree with your point, but just whatever my experiences with New Japan have been in the last few years as I've followed it more, I have no rhyme or reason to understanding when they decide to make title changes. So for that reason, I would probably say the Young Bucks will win the titles at Wrestle Kingdom.
And that would be totally fun. Yeah, I'm totally with you. The next match is Gauntlet match for the never openweight 6-man tag titles. I'll be quick. Bullet Club, Bad Luck Fale, Tama Tonga, and Tongaloa versus Beretta, Ishii, and Yano versus Elgin and War Machine versus Suzuki-gun of Taichi, Takashi Iwasaka, and Zack Sabre versus Taguchi Japan of Juice, Taguchi, and Togi Makabe. You got to go with Elgin and War Machine in this one. They're monsters, and I think even though the Bullet Club just won it, like you said, the Gauntlet match opens up some options, and it's the Never title, which they really don't put on a pedestal like they do the rest of the title. So I'm going to say Elgin and War Machine.
So that's interesting. I think I didn't really... I was thinking that they would be the one team that I wouldn't pick, only because of Elgin's, let's say, issues of late. But I don't know. I don't know. If I'm picking a winner, it's like literally picking something out of a hat. So if I was going to pick somebody, I'll go with the Juice Robinson team. How about that?
Okay. I mean, it's as good a choice as any. That works for me. All right, next up we have what should have been a Ring of Honor World title match, now is not. With Cody losing to Dalton Castle, it is Cody Rhodes versus Kota Ibushi. Explain this one to me, Joe. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was a little confused on this one myself. Originally, I thought that if Dalton Castle beat Cody at Final Battle, that Dalton Castle would take the place of Cody in this match so that they'd have the ROH title defended. That apparently was not the case. So it's just Cody versus Kota Ibushi for no apparent reason. I just would have guessed that Kota Ibushi would win because he's kind of, I don't know if he's a regular in New Japan again, but I know he's recently been working there again. So I would just say that Ibushi will win. But other than that, I don't have much explanation or rhyme or reason for anything else.
I'm wondering if they're going to be able to weave the Kota Ibushi storyline in with Kenny Omega, but I just don't know how they would get there at this point, to be honest with you. I'm going to say Ibushi wins this one too. What the hell? Next up, the Killer Elite Squad of Davey Boy Smith and friend of the All Night Long Wrestling podcast, Lance Archer, against LIJ of Evil and Sonata. This is a tough one for me to call. This match is getting a lot of hype in Japan, a lot of hype all over the place. I think Killer Elite Squad has done a great job with the titles. They've had many matches with War Machine and the Guerrillas of Destiny, but I just think it's time to give LIJ the run they deserve. But I think Evil and Sonata win the titles here.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Evil and Sonata will take the titles. I'm glad that Killer Elite Squad has gotten a decent run with it for a little while here, and they won some good matches with War Machine and a few other matches over in Japan. But I'm going to say Evil and Sonata as well.
Now we have a hair versus loser haircut, and I don't understand. I think it's a hair versus hair match. It's Suzuki versus Goto. It was never officially I don't know. It's a never open weight title. Suzuki's got it. Goto doesn't. I think you got to put it on Goto. He hasn't been strong this year. He didn't have a great showing in the G1 this year. No, I'm sorry, 2017. No, he did have a strong showing in the G1 this year. He never. I just feel like Goto's the kind of always a bridesmaid, never a bride, and Suzuki's not doing anything for that title. Goto's the better worker, and I think he's the more popular wrestler. So I'd say Goto takes the title.
I agree. I think Goto is the better wrestler, and I think he should take the title back here. So I'm going to say Hiroki Goto as well.
It's tough when every match on the card is a title match, and you feel like you're predicting too many title changes. But if every match is a title match, you're going to have to.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Marty Scurll versus Takahashi versus Kushida versus Will Ospreay for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. I think Marty Scurll keeps the title. I think he is probably the most over out of all of these guys. I wouldn't hate it if they put it on Takahashi. I think he's amazing. Let's be honest, I wouldn't hate it if they put it on any of these guys, but I think Marty Scurll is going to keep it.
I'll go with Takahashi to be different. I really liked when he had this championship there. I thought he had a lot of really cool matches with guys like Kushida and Dragon Lee, amongst others. So I'm just going to pick him because I want to see him win. So I'll take Takahashi.
That's fair. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Sling Blade, a.k.a. Jay White, for the IWGP Intercontinental title. You know, I really want to pick Jay White. I really want to believe they... You know what? Forget it. I'm going with Jay White. Tanahashi very rarely loses at Wrestle Kingdom. He's kind of the Japanese John Cena. But to me, Jay White went on excursion, and he came back, and you got to put the rocket on him, and there's no better way to get him over than for having beat Mr. Ring of Honor. So I'm going Jay White.
Yeah, that's kind of was my logic on it as well. Normally, I would say if I just was looking at these two facing each other, that I would pick Tanahashi probably 9 times out of 10. But since they're just kind of re-debuting Jay White under a new gimmick for him in New Japan, I'm going to say that they pull the trigger and give him the title. You know, maybe Tanahashi takes it back from him at a show, a couple months down the road. But I think that when you build somebody up like that, unless they don't have any big plans for him, which I'm assuming that they do, then I think he wins. So I'm gonna say Jay White wins it.
And they're really good at building guys. Like when they send guys on excursion and they come back, they're very good at continue. Like look at Naito. Naito is a perfect example of that. So I really hope they do the right thing with Jay White. Next we have the match with probably the biggest build, and that's Kenny Omega versus Chris Jericho. It's a no DQ match for the IWGP United States Heavyweight title. My gut says it's got to be Kenny Omega keeping the title. I don't know if Jericho's going to be there for more than one match, but the build to this match has been nothing short of amazing. It felt like an old school, mid-'80s, real deal feud where the two guys don't like each other. It got personal, it got physical, and I love every single ounce of it. I think Chris Jericho is going to have a great match with Kenny Omega. I think Omega is the perfect opponent for Jericho because he's going to bump and sell his ass off, and I am stoked for it. But I'm saying Kenny Omega keeps the title.
Yeah, I think Omega will keep the title as well. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know much about Jericho's agreement or how long he's going to stay with New Japan or how many matches he's going to do. He's very good, of course, at keeping that stuff a secret as much as possible. But I think they have done a nice job building up the feud, and they're selling it and as it's going to be a fight type of thing, right? It's no DQ. They're not getting people to expect a classic wrestling match. They're saying it's going to be violent, it's going to be brutal and things, and I'm sure that they'll deliver on that. And I would expect Omega to win and keep his title.
Leads us to the main event: Okada versus Naito for the IWGP Heavyweight title. No bones about it. Naito wins this match. It's Okada's had the belt almost a year. He's done an amazing job with it. But it's time for LIJ to take over. You have Evil and Sonata as your tag team champions, and you have Naito as the IWGP Heavyweight champ. He beat Okada about a year and a half ago. He only had it for like a month or two. I think you need to give him the title. I think you need to keep it on him. And I think, you could do Bullet Club versus Lij and stuff like that, no problem. But Naito walks out, Wrestle Kingdom 12 as your champion.